Hello. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to another Mashup Monday.
Happy Monday. I know you always catch me drinking when we get started, okay?
We love it. We love it. You be, bringing forth the libations and
Hello,
getting into the
somebody.
spirit.
That's right. That's right, child. I needed it today, child. It was a ooh. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there, Brad.
We ain't gonna go there. Positive vibes, and it's okay because we all get tired. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, we just got through the holidays and stuff, but it's good to be here. It's good to see
Yeah.
you, friend.
Yes, it's good to be seen. I ran into our good friend Pastor Julian this weekend. We
Hmm.
went and we had a Music City ball called oh my God, what was it called? Spice. Ah,
Spice and sugar and spice.
Sugar and Spice Ball here in Nashville, and I ran into Pastor Julian Legs, and I said he got this nice outfit. I said, Julian, I said, what's your category? He said, I'm present, I'm here. I said, you know what? I like that. So my category today is I'm present and I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
The category of being here
Mhm.
and being I feel that. I feel that. Sometimes that's all that we get. And really that's like half the battle just showing up.
That part right there. Jerry, how was your Thanksgiving? What you do?
It was good. It was good. I am wrapping up my time in the DMV. So I went to go see family there and then went and had a bunch of food with some other friends that I've made in the DMV, which has been really nice. I think it's cool to, especially because I'm a person who grew up in a big family, and my family doesn't always congregate like we did when we were like younger
Hmm.
and stuff. And also because I'm on a different side, was in a different place in the country. I really enjoy sometimes going to other people's families and seeing how like they do family tradition and like kind of like just feeling the love of other people and stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's always fun. I enjoy it. So that was like one of the things I did. And then the next day I sat around and ate leftovers and packed up my stuff at the house. So that was
All right. Well,
a lot of packing and a lot of eating.
it sounds like you had a good time, and we're so glad that you're gonna be back in Nashville officially. And yeah, even though your presence is never missed, because you feel like you're always here with us, regardless of where you are. You can be out the country, and we still feel your presence. Okay,
Well, one time you could tell me that I was like omnipresent, which I
you
thought was
are.
like hilarious.
You're like I'm because your impact is still the same regardless of where you are. Okay.
Well, I am trying to bring my energy in from being in all these different places. I am reclaiming some of that, and
Hmm.
part of that is me moving back to Nashville, so I'm not as far spread out. So,
Love it.
pray
Well,
for me in this transition.
we are praying for you. I'm so sad because I didn't get to eat all the good food my family cooked because I for some reason got a little sick or whatever and
Oh
was in the
no.
bed all day and stayed in the bed for 2 days and I was well about 3 days, but it's okay. I tried to cook some here by myself, so I'm trying to learn how to cook anyway. So that was a reason.
Your mama didn't bring you a plate?
Didn't nobody bring me nothing.
What?
Nobody brought me nothing.
They bring plate, nothing to
They
like be
was gone
like,
for like 3 days, so by the time they would have brought the leftovers, it wouldn't have been no good anyway. So
ah,
yeah.
well, I'm sorry, friend. That
Yes, sir.
sucks.
Well, we got some church announcement before we get into the topic.
We do. We do. Yes. So the first church announcement. Sorry. Let me. Are we? Hold on. All right. All right. Our first church announcements.
Hmm.
Uh, we want to celebrate a beautiful couple that just got married. Uh, yes, and we're going to do
Come on.
it.
Dixons. The Dixons. You like that? The Dixons. I
So
love it.
congratulations to Marquis,
Yes,
Armstead,
Marquis and Lando
and
Dixon.
Lando.
Can I just share with you?
Yes.
This was my first time. I was actually in the wedding, and this is my first time actually being on the in a bachelor as a bachelor. On the what did you call it? Yeah, a groomsman. I'm sorry.
A groomsman, part of the wedding party.
Part of the wedding party, and so it was an exciting experience. For those who don't know, Marquis is named in the daytime, but you may also know Marquis as Nakima Childs, who is supportive of MashUp, performs at all our events. Will be performing tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that in just a second. But congratulations to them. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. All of the whole city of Nashville was there. All the who's who of Nashville was present. So we love celebrating love. Congrats to you all, and many blessings to a long, 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 long love. Amen.
Yes, yes, indeed.
All right,
Yes.
what else we got on the what else we got on the agenda for the Turks and
Yes. So, next thing that we have, um, is World AIDS Day. The World AIDS Day luncheon for tomorrow. We will be at the East Park Community Center on Woodland, starting at 11 o'clock. This World AIDS Day's luncheon is in honor of Reverend Edwin C. Sanders. And if
yeah,
you don't know who Reverend Sanders is, um, I don't even know what to say. Reverend Sanders is
pioneer,
a
legend,
pioneer,
legend.
a legend,
Oh,
all those things. Such a great man. This is a straight black man who has used his position as a clergyman to really uplift black people, black queer folks, black people suffering from HIV and AIDS. Ever since like the early '90s,
yeah.
and he has done so many good works. He is like world renowned. People know him all over the world. He is just such a amazing person. So, we are really grateful to have the opportunity to share and to like celebrate him every year by putting on this luncheon and giving honor to the many people who work in the field of HIV and AIDS, and to honor some of those people who work and carry on the beautiful legacy of Reverend Sanders.
hmm And
So
real
we're
quick,
so
we
excited.
just shout out to people that we honoring tomorrow, real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, we have none other than Byron Bankhead. Okay, Byron Bankhead. If everybody, when we posted Byron Bankhead was gonna be honored, when I said them registration, the registration orders just kept coming through. He's been a pillar in our community for about 7 years, working in different agencies, still to this day doing the work of our community. Byron, we're so proud of you. We can't wait to honor you tomorrow. And also, we
Yeah.
have 15 plus servers working in the field of HIV and AIDS. Robert Earl Taylor, who has probably worked with every agency here in our city and is still to this day working and making sure that our community is taken care of. I even called Earl today, and he helped us out with somebody who needed some help. And so we just honor some great people who are just continue to make sure that the national community has what it needs, so we can find a cure and bring the cases down to zero. We want to see HIV get to zero. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so and so y'all come on out. Really, the tickets almost really they sold out, but we might got a few more
It's
spaces.
really about sold out.
We might got a few.
Really, to be honest. I'm excited. Tomorrow we got to do this. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing, especially just to honor like the people who do this, because it's really very important work.
hmm
Um, you know, and when I think about HIV and AIDS, and I'm sorry, Brian.
Let's go.
Oh, hold on, child, I took my face off the thing instead of the.
We can let's dive into it.
So let's hold up. Let's get into like the thing. So like I think today is on the World AIDS Day. So is a World AIDS Day is a worldwide Memorial Day um that is recognized across the world, um and it happens every year on December 1st. And we're just observing it tomorrow with our luncheon, but it happens on December 1st, which was yesterday. Brian,
Yes.
you want to tell the people a little bit more about World AIDS Day?
Yes, listen, this is today where we really, particularly in Nashville, the way we celebrate it is those who have been impacted, affected, know someone, have either been diagnosed, have worked in the field. We want to number one just make sure that we honor those who have been champions in this work, while also
Yes,
the people who have stood up and spoken out and educated us and talked to us about how we, support one another, how we break stigma, how we, also honor the lives of those who are no longer with us, who also participated in the good fight to make sure that they use their voice in our community through activism, through making sure that people had supportive services and all those things. And really, was so interesting, Jerry, because those who may know that our theme this year is about roses of resilience, and we
Hmm.
themed this year's World AIDS Day luncheon rooted in resilience to really celebrate the strength, determination, and unity within the Nashville community and how we respond to HIV and AIDS, particularly here in the South. And so for me, World AIDS Day means that we don't stop having these conversations, that we don't stop
Right.
educating our community, that we do not quit and give up on ensuring that people know how to prevent HIV, that we don't give up on telling people that, hey, you need to know your status, that we don't give up on letting people who are positive know that, hey, there are regimens that actually work that will keep you alive for a long, long time. We
Yeah.
are here doing the work. And to me, that's what this day brings about. Yes, we, do this work all throughout the year, but on this particular day, we would just want to make sure that we are bringing it back home, to make sure that we are particularly focused on how do we honor those who have done work before us. How do we acknowledge what we are doing now, to address it, and what is the path forward? What do we see as the steps that we need to take to make sure that we are truly going to see zero cases in the future of HIV, that we maybe one day hopefully will see a cure. We want to talk about the work that has been done. What are those things that have worked? What are those things that are not working? And what are those things that we can reflect inside and say, you know what, we can also do a better job at? Because this is also a day for me of being personally accountable for
Yeah.
how we show up. Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, for my doctoral dissertation, I'm not gonna talk about me too much, but I had at one time I got burnt out from this field. And when I got into my doctoral program, I felt a strong need to write about um, burnout in the field of HIV and AIDS because it is real. Um,
Hmm.
and we do need to make sure that we understand what are those things that people who are on the front lines that are causing them to not be able to show up sometimes, that also has an adverse effect on our clients. And
Yeah.
so, when we talk about, the, World AIDS Day, we also talk about, we want to make sure that we talk about the people who are showing up every day when they don't even feel like showing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who, people who are helping others who also may be, um, have HIV as well and going through their own battle, but still have to show up for other people because they know and understand how important this work is. For those of us who live, and I'm gonna stop on my rant, but for those of us who live in the South, particularly, in the state of Tennessee, when we have laws that continually, target our community, that strip away funding from us, and we still have to show up, for people because we understand the importance of showing up even when we're tired, even when we don't feel like being there. That's what this day is about. But really, to sum it up, I really hope that we just honor those who have fought the good fight. You know, honor those who didn't give up and didn't quit, even when times got hard and it's working. We just love on one another and let each other know that we're here for you. Get your rest. When you need to get your rest. But once you get your rest, after you cry, we're gonna show up together and we're gonna continue this fight because this is a fight that not only impacts us, but it impacts many people.
Yeah, it impacts for many people. And I think you know, that's one of the things that I love about the way that we celebrate this because it's not only we're not only talking about the people who have contracted the virus
Hmm.
or who have become HIV positive, but you talk about the effect of how it happens. It has an effect on our community. You
Yeah.
think about all the people that we have lost. We have like a whole generation of queer black men that have died off. And over I think they said by I was reading on Wikipedia today. It said by 2020 there was over 20 million people
Hmm.
across the world that have died from HIV and AIDS. So, and you think about the effect of that on not only those people who left, but like the families that they left behind, the friends, the children, the these are mothers and fathers. These are all different people, and like it's just had a really wide ranging effect. And then also those people who have worked in the field, who've been helping to get people on testing, help testing. Like that's a lot of weight. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that you have to do working in this field. So um, I, I, I'm glad that we are taking a moment to um, recognize those people who are working in the field, recognize everyone who's affected by the virus
Mhm.
on this day tomorrow. So I just wanted to share a couple of facts
Come
and stuff
on.
about World AIDS Day. So, like I was saying at first, this is an international day that is observed on the 1st of December for every year, and it's been going on since 1988. So the first World AIDS Day was December the 1st, 1988, done in response to the global pandemic of AIDS. So, think about it like this was like AIDS hit like the world kind of like we have lived through another global pandemic with COVID. And I think about like AIDS is, another epidemic. Um, a lot of it's just COVID was different, but it's another epidemic for especially I wanted to make their relation, especially for a lot of our younger people who like didn't grow up during the AIDS epidemic. They don't really kind of get it how many people were dying. Like
Mhm.
I think their only thing was COVID, but imagine COVID if it was like spread over like 20 years.
Mhm.
That's the AIDS epidemic. Um, and it was mainly going around a lot of like queer people, especially queer people of color and
Mhm.
people of color. But World AIDS Day is one of 11 global public health campaigns. It was organized by the World Health Organization. So, along with World AIDS Day, you have World Health Day, World Blood Donor Day, World Immunization Week, World Tuberculosis Day, World No Tobacco Day, World Malaria Day, World Hepatitis Day, World Antimicrobial Awareness
You
Day.
better pronounce these words, brother.
Child, some of these I've never heard of. I mean, okay, so wash your hands day,
Uh huh.
World Patient Safety Day,
Yeah.
and World Chagas Disease Day.
Baby,
I've
what is
never heard of Chagas disease until just now. Uh, but yeah, this is and okay, and so I was wrong with those numbers I said at first.
okay?
So they said as of 2020, there was between 27.2 million to 47.8 million worldwide who have been killed by the disease. But we're not exactly sure. They can only estimate, and they say that they're guessing that 37.7 million people are currently living with HIV in the world as of 2020. So I'm sure that number has gone up since then because that was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, those are a couple facts about World AIDS Day. It has been going on again since 1988. So we are in year 30. It's like 1 year older than me, so 36.
Um,
Yeah,
wow, wow. And first of all, thank you for giving us some good facts. Okay, because we always need to be reminded of the facts.
indeed.
But given all that you just explained, what do you think that what do you think we can do more of in going into 2025? Almost 40 something years. Where we don't have a cure. Where stigma is
Yeah.
still real. What more can we do? What can we tell people to do and educate people to do? Um, or suggest rather on how we educate our communities and advocate for those who have been affected by HIV and AIDS, particularly in the South. And we want to even bring it back home to Tennessee. Let's take it there. What can we? What do we say that? What do we tell people to do more of?
I say just talk about it. Just
Okay.
talk about it. Educate yourself. Actually, go read some stuff. Find out what the virus is. Find out
Mm-hmm.
about the prevention stuff. Find out about prep. And find out about treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of like quick articles, different things, resources. I feel like everyone should like take it upon themselves to educate themselves and then just talk to someone else about it. Talk about it with your sexual partners. Have a conversation about stuff. Because I think the thing that really because we have treatment and prevention stuff
Mm-hmm.
now. And like really, no one should still be getting the virus, but because we don't like do the things to prevent it, and we don't like have like all. I mean, it's better, but we could still do. I think part of it is just stigma. The more we talk about it, I think it's better.
You know what? I'm gonna just throw a little controversial statement in here, okay?
Okay, what's
So
your?
it was interesting that this year, World AIDS Day fell on Sunday,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
I'm not gonna call out any churches, but
Okay.
I did attend a church service, okay?
Okay. Okay.
And every other awareness day, we tell the congregation
Woo.
we wearing our pink, right? The whole month of October, we wearing our pink. Um, we're shout we when people need prayer for diabetes, and people need prayer for cancer, we praying over that. And
Hmm.
not only the service that I attended, I'm not even gonna say the name, and I'm not even going to act like that that's not something they care about. But I'm just saying it was not mentioned yesterday on World AIDS Day on Sunday in the church service.
Mm.
Anything about that day being World AIDS Day. When when I remember when I was working directly in the field, there were people at that same church who was coming to my office, receiving care, who are also right now today no longer with us. And
Hmm.
so, when we talk about what more can we do, I, I just don't understand why in almost 2025 that there are still churches who know and understand that their voice, as powerful as it is, and when with that knowing that their congregation will probably listen and cling to any word that they say, that on the day that World AIDS Day actually fell on, that wasn't even mentioned nowhere, in the service. And I even went as far to listen to other services on that day, and have still yet to hear any service. And I'm not saying there weren't any services that didn't mention it, but I'm just saying
Hmm.
I have not heard any. And for us to
Yeah.
know, in these numbers that you talk about for 30 some plus years, and the numbers can
Mm.
continue to rise and rise, particularly in the South, I think that it's also the responsibility of faith leaders to, at some point,
For sure.
you're going to have to get move past whatever it is that is keeping you from having those conversations, because I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to start calling out churches, and put blame on them for the reason why people are not seeking the help that they
Mm.
what am I wrong? Am I saying anything wrong, Jerry?
You feel like do you feel like it's the responsibility of the church to address like all these different things? Do you feel like it's the responsibility of the church to educate people on HIV and AIDS?
I absolutely do. And
Why?
I say that because what are we saying to our congregation when we will highlight, you know, uh, highlight. I'm going to be a little controversial, and I just want to say that these issues, what I'm saying right now, is not a reflection of MashUp. Okay, this is just Brian in my moment. What are we saying when we can speak and pray about issues that maybe are also things that can be preventable, right? We talk about people who may be overweight, right? Who we can have conversation about diet and exercising, and that we know there's some things that are hereditary, but we also know that there's also things that are preventable. But we can pray for other preventable diseases, but for anything related to HIV and AIDS, we don't call that out in our prayer. We can have our congregation rally around breast cancer. But what are we saying to the congregation of people who are sitting in your congregation who also may have HIV? So yes, I actually think that it's our responsibility, because we know that when it comes to the voice of like your minister or your preacher or somebody that's in that pulpit, when they speak, you listen to them more than you probably listen to your healthcare provider.
And I
You,
think also, yeah, I think also the thing is like the church is like serves as in a preacher and a like the church often serves as most people's moral compass. Or,
Mhm.
especially church goers. It like so like you said, I think um if we're talking about these other things and talking about um, all these others, talk about breast cancer, you pray for people when they, become diabetic. We pray for like people for like other stuff, but then we can't talk about HIV and AIDS. It kind of makes the silence speaks a lot because what it is saying that like this is not something is almost like it's there's a shame around it. Like if I can't come to the church and ask like for prayer for that, then like if I'm not feeling open and I don't feel like this is something they can talk about, then there's a shame about it. Because it's like people assume that you have sinned if you do something wrong in order to get it, and that's the stigma. So
But we also can have a baby dedication and a baby shower for the baby that was born out of wedlock.
ooh, child, depending on what church you go to, because like I grew up in the Kojic church, and and we sometimes my mama and them would be like, no, baby, we gonna give to you, but we not having a shower.
Yeah, but we but
That's an old church. I mean, that's an old saints. I don't know what these new saints doing, child.
but we
I
are
don't know.
but we can look at on the congregation and the ratio to women and their kids there, and not the father of the children there. We still in some kind of way are still celebrating the fact that we know you had sex to have that baby here, and we're gonna still love on your child and support you, and put money in your pocket to help you out with your child. We know you had to do something. Maybe you're not married. We don't see no ring on your finger. We know how you got the child, but we're gonna still celebrate that. But we're not gonna talk about HIV and AIDS because we associate that with sex, knowing that everybody in the whole congregation is having sex, whether they married or not. We know that we know your pastor may be also engaging in activities that you may not know of, but I just don't. You know what? We can go back and forth about this all day. All I'm trying to say is, I really wish that our black churches would find the strength and courage to be able to speak out, knowing that this is something that impacts people that sit right in front of them every single Sunday, that can actually do something that could potentially change the trajectory of these statistics that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not only the churches, it's all of our institutions, is our black any place where you have black community and like stuff, especially if we get to talk about health or anything in any type of way, we're educating people. We need to be talking about it and making it normal. I mean, everybody has sex. Everybody has sex or engages in some type of it's very normal for all of us to engage in sexual activity. We shouldn't make people feel bad that something happened to them for doing something that everybody does. I may do it with somebody different than you. Yes. I may have engaged in one way that, maybe like, I didn't have the most healthy practice at some point. And we all do that. It's like, everybody eats. You got diabetes because you ate too much unhealthy food and no one's judging you or for that, or making you feel like it's just like, oh, this happened to you. We're sad. You probably maybe your cancer flared up because you ate too much, unhealthy food. That happens, and no one really makes people feel bad about that.
You
But
can
then you can't talk about other things that happen to us that it's a consequence of living. So, I think we definitely need to move past that. And like I think I agree with you. One thing I would say because I know one of the reasons why I'm like really grateful for that because like I grew up in a church that did talk about HIV and AIDS. Like and even in our church it wasn't affirming
Mhm,
in like queer people or like queer people, but we talked about HIV and AIDS, we talked about STIs, we
mhm,
talked about those things, even though technically we looked at it as a sin, we still knew that people engaged in it, and we didn't pretend like it wasn't. You know, like we had people with HIV in my family.
mhm,
And one of my favorite aunts, my dad's favorite sister, she was diagnosed before I think before I was born.
mhm,
And she got it from sharing needles during the drug epidemic. She was, on the streets for a little while, then cleaned herself out, found out that she was positive, and it was I am grateful to like grow up in an environment where I was able to see her be embraced, and we learned a lot of stuff at our church. There was like health seminars and stuff, and we learned about the virus. We knew not to be afraid. We knew like how to, protect ourselves from it. And those before prep, they pass out condoms at our church. So that was and I realized that was big, especially for the '90s in the middle of the like projects in Memphis. That was a big thing. But I'd say that to show that it can be done.
I love.
And if my dad was doing that and was still extremely homophobic, but doing that in the '90s,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to your point, like people could talk about this stuff today. Like
Yeah.
it like we shouldn't be like it's now been like that was almost like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like to think about like churches are still afraid to talk about it.
That's
Like
crazy.
in like this like big age where we have like gay marriage and stuff legal and stuff, like we're still pretending like people don't have sex. That people like and like there's black mothers, like, heterosexual people who have the virus. It's not just gay people,
Come on.
you know? It's
Come on.
not just gay people. Like we need to stop like pretending like it's just gay people. It's not just us.
Yes.
So
Jerry, we had somebody in the comments that said, Creative Imagery said, there was a council of churches where I'm from that dedicated outreach, days of prayer, and had special services around World AIDS Day to address
that's
stigma,
beautiful.
testing, care, and awareness. However, they stopped. Well,
Uh,
why they stop, Lord? Why did they stop? We need to go.
they probably stopped getting money for it. That's
Oh,
probably
you
the
know what?
truth.
Okay.
That's probably the truth, baby. Because a lot of like people they'll talk about stuff as long as they're getting paid.
Hmm.
Which and here's the thing, like being a nonprofit, I understand, but also no.
I don't. I'm gonna say I don't understand, Jerry. You know why? But because before Mashup got a dime, before Mashup got a dime,
Hmm.
we were educating people through social media. Ask me how much
Yeah,
it cost for us to post facts on social media that it didn't cost anything.
yeah.
It
It
cost
don't cost anything for you to open your mouth and make
come
people feel
on,
loved.
come on,
To do
come on.
something, to point people towards another thing, even if you don't have the resources that you used to have to do,
Hmm.
you still, people are still affected by it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Child, listen. How long we 33 minutes? Okay, let me start because I keep ranting. But somebody the same creative image said yes, funding. So it must have been the funding it funding done tried up. Lord, we gotta send. We're gonna send y'all some links for some funding. Okay, y'all can tell it to the church to apply because it sounded like they were doing some really great work, and I would love to hear
Yeah,
about. I would if, actually if you can DM us, I would love to learn more about how successful that was because maybe that need to be implemented and recreated in other places here in Tennessee. But let's kind of go more on a lighter, more nicer note. You know, let's talk about those people who have inspired us in this field of work that are people who we cling to or listen to that helps that we turn to to motivate us to continue doing the work that we do. You have anybody who has inspired you, Jerry? Yeah, I know you mentioned your father. I love that you talked about how your father did that in his church. But is there any other people that have inspired you in this work?
um I mean, Brian, I would say you.
Oh my gosh.
I would say you. I mean, you're one of the reasons why I'm like doing this. I'm like, I wasn't. I mean, then to be fair, the um for people who don't know my background, I am an attorney by trade. I wasn't doing like, even though I grew up, in a church and doing community service stuff, I wasn't really, doing this in my adult life. And, Brian, like I saw you out here doing stuff with Mashup and like it, inspired me to want to get involved and do more stuff with the community. Like it's I mean, you inspired me, friend. Like you asked me to join, and you're the reason why I'm doing this today. So I would say you, friend. um, also, and I was probably not gonna say this right now, Brian. You up here tearing up. I love you, man. Um, But that one of the other things that I wanted to say, because I mean, I am HIV positive, which is something that I don't talk about a whole lot, um, in public or like a lot of times, which is kind of funny because I don't think I've ever even had a conversation with my family about it, which is weird. And like I do this work, but when I became positive, Brian, you were the first person that I called afterwards, and because I felt comfortable with you, and you helped me work through that. But friend, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, and you know, you one of the people who have making a difference. But we I just want to say that especially after our conversation today. Man, I know.
Um, um, let's see. Okay, let me go to the comments. Okay.
But
I,
who is the person that inspires you to do the work?
okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Give me a moment. Siobhan said the both of you make the many and masses feel comfortable. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Siobhan. You're so
That's so
sweet.
sweet.
Um, oh my God, I've been crying all day, Jerry. And I don't know why I've been crying all day. You tell me because I'm just an empath and I just be feeling all the feelings. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I think that's why it's so important. I love honoring people, Jerry. I cannot wait till tomorrow because I'm
Yeah,
so excited to, give people their flowers for doing this work because it's not easy. And there's so many
it's not.
times where, and not that we do the work for recognition, but like sometimes it does help when you hear people, just kind of like tell you, what you're doing is impactful in some kind of way. And so many, I was before we got alive, and I'm just about to go real left, but I was wondering why I probably was kind of frustrated and crying today. Is because I realized that I'm a person who just won't quit regardless of like what obstacles come my way, and no matter like how tired like this work may get, like I literally like just would not quit. I won't stop like thinking of ways. When you was having a conversation for 2 hours a day, you're like, y'all, Jerry has to listen to me rant and like hear my thoughts as they come out of my head, and they don't even be all well thought out. But my mind don't ever cut off because I'm always thinking about like, how do we save the world and what do we do next and how do we make impact? Like I never really just take time to just stop and be like, what our therapist told us today on our call, just kind of like congratulate yourself and just you let yourself know that what you're doing, you're doing a good job and you're actually doing the work of the Lord. Okay. And so I appreciate that. But let me, the people who inspire me, Jerry, are really people who are like the people who have been my clients. And I don't call them clients. I'm just saying clients because that's just the clinical term that people use. But um, people who I've had the pleasure of serving in the field of HIV and AIDS, and when they, come back and tell me, things like, "Oh my God, thank you, for what you've done," and you when I met you, you don't even realize the time in my life that I really needed that, and even like to this day, I haven't worked in direct HIV services for like 5 years, and people still reach out, asking questions about how do I get housing, and I'm HIV positive, I need help, connecting me to services, and I'm like, what, there is no way that I can stop doing this work. There's just no way, even when I want to quit, like I just will not stop. I won't stop, and I think that's why I get frustrated when um, I see that there's so much potential for others to step up, like the Black Church, and even our agencies, our HIV agencies, and people who work in the field. Even like I want us to have more conversations about how we be accountable. For what we are could work better on, and what we can do better on, because it's you know it's ultimately about how we serve our community and how what are we doing to really make change. And so sometimes I'd be so mad at me because I just like, why do I want to save the world like this? Why can't I just why do I got to care so much, Yuri? Oh Lord.
Like you are allowing. I think it's beautiful. You have a big heart. We need more people like this. We need more people like you to have a big heart and actually care. Yeah, I think if all of us actually cared about each other just a little bit more, the world would be a lot better, a much better place.
Just, and can I just say one more thing? There are many people who are still, because of stigma, because of whatever the reason, scared to share their story. And
Hmm.
there was nowhere on our notes that said, Jerry, share your personal story today. Um, but you know, Jerry, you have a lot of people who look up to you, who follow you, who are inspired by you, and I truly hope that you, even just sharing that today, will inspire others to speak more about, you know, their experiences. You know, I learned from you. You know, you help me understand things differently, and I couldn't, you know, be successful if it wasn't for, you know, people opening up. That's why tomorrow,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to have this thing called the Resilient Survivors Panel, who are going to be able to talk about, you know, their 10, 30 plus year experience, you know, living with HIV, and share with people better than I can share with people how they have been resilient, and how they have survived and how they have thrived, and help other people understand, you know, ways to navigate, you know, being HIV positive. And so thank you so much, Yuri. You have a ministry, and I'm just glad to support it. Amen. I'm done. Let's go. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm done.
I don't think we have anything else to talk about. Okay, I think I think we have both let the contents of our heart out, and you know, this has been beautiful. I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, I'm grateful. You know, we'll obviously, you know, we're grateful for each other, and we tell each other this all the time.
Hmm.
um but you know, I hope that we could show other people to love a little bit more, and you know, just, you know, lead with your heart,
Hmm.
and it will take you some beautiful places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, child, I'm gonna
Cool.
talk some more tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
I'm hungry now because I ate all day. So let me go eat and drink some more champagne. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all so much.
Yes, we love
We
y'all.
love
Thank y'all so
National
much.
Family, and we will see y'all next Monday.
All right, bye.